Hi there everyone. I wanted to give you a short video looking at how to look at your grades in Canvas and how to interpret those. I'm logged into Canvas here as the test student in our class, so this should be sort of what you see here, and I'm going to go click on the grades list. One thing that's important when you're looking at your grades for this should be you, not test student, when you look there, is you want to make sure that it is sorted by assignment group, and if you change that, you will have to select apply. So if I looked at due date, that would change everything, and but I want to get it back. I want to do it by assignment group, because the way the grade is calculated is by weighting within the assignment group. And if you look over on the right hand side here at the top, you see the test student is currently at 58.5% and has an F in the class. Over here we also have the assignment groups. We have a group called assignments, which is 20%, which is the sapling assignments. Our exams, 30%, which are the tests that you take. Other assignments, 10%. That's the smart thinking tutoring things. Quizzes, 20%, which we haven't had very many of. And then the final exam eventually will be 20% for the course. So overall that adds up to 100%. We have a few categories that are zero. For some reason we have a redundant assignment category. Imported assignment. Raw scores is where I put things before I curve them. So like your tests initially start off in raw scores, and then I do the square root curve on those and put them into the place for your exam. So I printed this out with the in the OneNote. So I'm going to go over to the OneNote now. And so here, this is our Chem 131 note. We're in the General tab, and I've got a page labeled Interpreting Grades in Chrome. So this is the same information as it gets printed from the OneNote. Okay, just lost my pen. There it is. Okay, as it gets printed from that Canvas page. So what you see here with your different groups. Okay, this is your your assignments, and the groups should agree with what's on the syllabus. The syllabus up here tells us that that the group weighting assignments are 20 for that, so that should be, these are 20% of your overall grade, right? And what I've done here, if you see this little X by something, that means it was dropped. At the moment, I'm dropping one out of the two sapling assignments that we have so far, and what it does is it selects the lowest score for you that you have. These other saplings are saplings that are going to be due in the future. You see they're coming up soon. So you've got 4 more grades to potentially go in, and I anticipate probably dropping again the lowest 3 of these, so 1 out of 2 or 3 out of 6, same proportion. Then we have the exams, and you see we've just got a couple of those showing up so far, but we've got more exams as scheduled on the syllabus. So exams count 30%, and if you want to know when the exams are supposed to happen, you can see those exam dates here on the syllabus as well, so you know when they're coming. And when I say 30%, so this is exams, 30%. Sometimes I'll call that HRX. That stands for our exam, just an old abbreviation I use. And we expect that we'll have 6 of these exams. These are the during the semester exams. And again, test student has had his lowest score dropped, which was a 71. Which are just numbers I made up. If that had been a lower score, it would have been dropped. If, for example, on exam 1, if the student had made a 90, then it would have dropped exam 2. And you see these are the curved exam scores. Again, what I do is I take your percentage of points that you earn on the exam. I take the square root of that percentage and I multiply it by 10. And again, I always say that if you have a 49%, that comes out to be a 70, which is the lowest C on the exam, and that represents an appropriate interpretation of the exam's difficulty. Then these other assignments that are 10%, which is largely the smart thinking, that's 10% of your grade. And let's look down here. So we've got grades in through week 5, and I think I dropped one of those. And so this student missed 2 of them, but didn't get hammered too much because one of those did get dropped. So they have 300 out of 400 possible points. So it looks like their average should be a 75 for that. There's more smart thinking sessions coming up. Again, these are the easiest points to get this semester. And also the point is for you to use these to make life easier for you. So again, I would recommend that you go in and get these sessions scheduled ahead of time, and that you plan as you're working on your chemistry. You look for problems that you're struggling with and get help from the tutor on those problems. Many folks who are doing this are just kind of finding the first problem they come through and throwing it at the tutor just to document that they did this. The point is for you to use this to help you improve and help you get a better score in this class and help you be more successful in chemistry and in life generally. So please engage in this in the spirit intended, because we are trying to help you. We've only had 1 quiz so far. Sadly, we just haven't seemed to got too many, haven't gotten too many quizzes on that. And again, what did we say the quizzes counted at? So if I can't remember, I'm going to go check on the syllabus. It's always where the answer is in the syllabus. And in the syllabus here, we say quizzes are 20%, and the final will be 20%. So back to the interpreting grades and Canvas thing here. So this one quiz, what did I say, 20%, and unfortunately there's been no way to replace that. The good news is, of course, if you took that quiz, it was just a practice quiz, you got 2 out of 2, so that's 20% of your grade. That's 100 there. These are the raw scores for the first 2 exams. They are not included in the grade. In this respect, we take those back and curve those grades. So you see exam 2, 15 out of 30 is a 50%. So the square root curve would be, again, 10 times the square root of 50. That's going to be around 70, 71. And so if I go back up here and I look for the exam 1 curve, you see the 71 there is that 10 times the square root of 50 from down there. So that's just where those grades go, but they're not involved in that. So down at the bottom, you've got your averages. And again, I think we said assignments were 20%. Our exams were 30%. Other assignments were 10%. Not applicable. Quizzes were 20%. We got to get some quizzes in. And then the final exam would also be 20%. Does that add up to 100? It sure does. So what the course did at this point was say, okay, well, I've got 90% of 20%. That's 18 out of 20, if you will. I've got 71% of 30% of the grade. So if I do that out of 30 points, that's going to be 21.3. And then other assignments, 75% of 10%, that's going to be 7.5 out of 10. And then quizzes, 0 of 20%. That's 0 out of 20. So if I add those up, we don't have anything for the final exam. Then I've got 20, 40, 80. I got 80 points total that this grade is out of so far. 80% of it that we have some information about. 5 and 3 is 0.8. 8 and 1 and 7, that's 16. So 6, I carry my 1. So that carried 1 plus that 1 is 2, plus the 2 there is 4, 46.8 out of 80. And that, if I use my calculator here, 46.8 divided by 80 gives me that 58.5, 0.585, which is, if you multiply by 100%, that gets us the 58.5% that is a current average for the student there. So anyway, so you can look at this and you can kind of make some evaluations about, okay, how am I doing in a certain setting? If I get serious about doing all these smart thinkings, how much is that going to help me? It's like no matter how much more work the student does on smart thinking, it's only going to get better by 2.5 points out of 100 that you'll eventually have. So while you can improve stuff a little bit there, it's not going to take you from a C to an A, right? But again, doing that will maybe help you do better scores on the homeworks, better scores on the exams. So you may see payoff there, but you have to produce those grades there. So if the exams are going really poorly, the good news is that we're going to have, what did I say? We've got 4 more exams in this course, and I'll wind up dropping 3. So both of the exams that are in the book right now for you may not count at the end of the day if your later exams have higher scores. So keep that in mind as you go forward. So anyway, so I just wanted to review that with you. If you have questions, let me know. The withdraw period ends on this Friday, which is October the 23rd. You have to withdraw from the class before that time. If you get a W in that class, that will count essentially as a failed course for the purposes of financial aid completion percentage. So there are financial aid consequences to that. To pass this course and have it count for graduation, you only have to make a D. You don't have to make a C as you would normally would for most major courses, because this is a course prepping you for the first major course, which is the Chem 131 and 111 course that you hopefully will be taking next semester. So while a C or better would be great, and you obviously don't want your GPA to be impacted negatively, getting through it with a D does count as a success, at least in moving on to the next course. So if you have questions, let me know. I will be fairly unavailable after Wednesday this week, so try to get those questions in soon if you have them. And it's always good to talk to you.